Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel today. I will teach you about kill negative thinking. So let's start. Negative thinking is like a slow poison. It does not kill you in one day, but it destroys you over time. It hides in your mind, waiting for the moment when you are weak. Then it whispers things like, "You can't do it. You're not good. Enough. Why even try?" These words feel small, but they are dangerous. They stop you from taking action. They kill your confidence. They make you believe in a future that is already lost. The truth is life is already full of challenges. But when your own mind becomes your enemy, the battle becomes twice as hard. You do not only fight the world, you fight yourself. This is why you must learn to control your thinking before it controls you. If you let negative thinking grow, it will shape your habits, your choices, and your future. It will make you blind to your own potential. Killing negative thinking does not mean you will never have a bad thought again. It means you will catch it early. You will not allow it to take root and grow into fear, doubt, or hopelessness. This is not just about thinking positive. It is about building a mind so strong that negative thoughts cannot live inside it for long. The following 8 rules will help you master your mind. They are not just ideas to read once and forget. They are mental weapons. Use them daily and you will notice something amazing. Your mind will begin to work for you, not against you. Rule 1. Recognize the enemy. Before you can defeat negative thinking, you must first see it clearly. Most people live on autopilot, moving through their days without paying attention to the thoughts running through their minds. They feel stressed, worried, or sad, but they rarely notice that all of these feelings begin with small, silent thoughts. These thoughts may appear harmless at first, but if left unchecked, they grow like weeds, spreading doubt, fear, and hesitation into every corner of your life. Recognizing negative thinking is the first and most important step because you cannot fight an enemy you cannot see. It is like trying to catch a thief in your house without knowing he is there. If you fail to notice him, he will keep taking what belongs to you, your peace, your confidence, and your potential. But once you shine a light on him, you take the first step to stopping the damage. Awareness is the beginning of freedom. Start by paying close attention to your inner voice. Listen carefully to the words you say to yourself when something goes wrong, when you face a challenge, or when you make a mistake. Negative thoughts often appear in predictable patterns and phrases. You may hear yourself thinking, "I can't do this. I'm not good enough. What if I fail?" Or, "This will never work." These thoughts feel natural because your mind repeats them over and over. At first, they may seem small or even harmless, but each one chips away at your self-belief. When you notice these thoughts, pause for a moment and tell yourself, "This is a negative thought. I do not have to believe it." At first, this may feel strange or awkward, but with practice, you'll become faster at catching these thoughts before they spread and take control of your mind. A powerful way to understand your negative thinking is to write it down. Keep a small notebook or use your phone, and whenever you feel anxious or hopeless, stop and ask yourself, "What am I thinking right now?" Write the thought exactly as it appears in your mind. Seeing it on paper helps you separate yourself from it. You will realize this is just a thought. It is not the truth. Many people live as if their thoughts are facts, but they are not. They are temporary mental events that come and go. The moment you understand this, you gain the ability to choose which thoughts to focus on and which to let pass. Negative thinking is clever. It often wears a mask, pretending to be realistic or logical. You may tell yourself, "I'm just being honest about the situation," or "I'm preparing for the worst." While it may sound reasonable, it is still feeding fear and stopping you from taking action. True awareness means learning to tell the difference between healthy caution and self-sabotage. Ask yourself 3 important questions whenever a thought makes you feel stuck or worried. Is this thought helping me take action? Does this thought push me toward a solution or keep me stuck? Would I say this to my best friend if they were in my situation? If the answer is no, then it is not a helpful thought. It is an enemy trying to control your mind. Recognizing negative thinking is not a one-time event. It requires daily attention and patience. Your mind is like a room that can be filled with light or darkness. When you become aware of a negative, thoughts creeping in, you are turning on the light. Even the smallest awareness can stop the spread of doubt and fear. The more you practice, the quicker you will catch negative thinking the moment it arises. You will start to see patterns in your mind, notice triggers, and understand which thoughts are trying to limit you. Each time you recognize the enemy, you are already stronger than you were before, and every small victory adds up. By shining a light on your negative thoughts, questioning them, and separating yourself from them, you gain the power to stop them from controlling your actions and your future. This is the foundation for all the other rules. Until you recognize the enemy, no strategy will fully work. Awareness is freedom, and freedom is the first step to a stronger, calmer, and more confident mind. Rule 2. Replace the poison. Recognizing negative thinking is only the first step. Awareness alone does not remove the poison from your mind. Many people notice their negative thoughts but do nothing to replace them, so the harm continues quietly. A strong mind does not only avoid negativity, it actively fills a space with something better. Think of your mind like a glass of water. If the water is dirty and you pour out only half, the rest will still make you sick. But if you continue adding clean water until the glass is full, the dirt is gone and the water becomes pure again. Your mind works the same way. Negative thoughts can fill your mental space unless you replace them with something positive and helpful. When you catch a negative thought, do not leave the space empty. Fill it immediately with a constructive, empowering thought. For example, if your mind says, "I can't do this," replace it with "I will try until I learn how." If it says, "This will never work," replace it with, "This will work if I find the right way." Small, deliberate replacements like this gradually reprogram your brain. Over time, your mind will naturally start looking for solutions rather than dwelling on problems. The habit of replacement creates momentum that leads to confidence and action. Replacing negative thoughts is not easy at first. Your brain is used to old thinking patterns, so it resists change. Imagine walking through tall grass every day along the same path. That path becomes clear and easy to follow. But if you want to make a new path, you must walk the new way again and again until it becomes as clear as the old one. Your brain works in the same way. The more you practice positive thinking, the stronger the new mental path becomes. At the same time, the old negative path grows weaker, fading away until it no longer dominates your mind. A simple 3-step method can help you replace negative thoughts effectively. First, catch the thought. Notice the exact words your mind is using. Second, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this really true? Do I have evidence? Third, change it. Replace it with a thought that helps you take action, that motivates you instead of stopping you. These 3 steps practiced consistently can create lasting mental change. However, be careful not to replace negativity with fake positivity. Your brain can sense when words feel untrue, and forcing something that feels like a lie can backfire. Instead, choose words that are both hopeful and realistic. For example, rather than saying, "I am the best in the world," say, "I am improving every day and I am capable of more than I think." Small, believable affirmations are far more powerful than exaggerated ones because your mind accepts them and begins to act accordingly. Another method to replace negative thoughts is through affirmations, short positive sentences you repeat daily. But here is a crucial point. Affirmations alone are not enough. They must be paired with action. Saying "I am confident" has little effect if you do not act with confidence. When you combine positive words with small steps forward, your brain begins to believe them. This creates a loop where your thoughts, words, and actions reinforce each other, making positive thinking stronger and more natural over time. Gratitude is also a powerful tool for replacement. When your mind says nothing is going right, Pause and name 3 things you're grateful for. They do not have to be big, perhaps a friend's support, a sunny day, or even just the fact that you are alive. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present and possible. Over time, it rewires your brain to notice opportunities, blessings, and strengths rather than problems and weaknesses. Think of replacing negative thoughts as tending a garden. If you only pull out the weeds, but never plant flowers, the weeds will grow back. But if you plant seeds of hope, courage, and belief, they will occupy the space and leave no room for negativity to return. Like a well-tended garden, your mind will flourish with positivity, resilience, and clarity. Over time, these small daily practices landscape where negative thinking cannot survive, and your inner world transforms completely. Rule 3. Control your environment. You can train your mind all day, but if you live in a toxic environment, your progress will be slow. Negative thinking grows stronger when it is fed by surroundings that are unhealthy for your mind. Just as plants need sunlight, water, and good soil to grow strong and healthy, your thoughts also need the right environment. If the surroundings are dark, polluted, or harmful, no amount of mental training will fully succeed. Your mind absorbs what it sees and hears, and if you are constantly exposed to negativity, fear, or doubt, it will begin to shape your thoughts, actions, and even your sense of self-worth. The first place to look is at the people around you. Ask yourself, do they lift you up or do they pull you down? If you spend time with people who constantly complain, gossip, or doubt everything, you will start thinking like them. This does not mean you are weak. It is simply how human beings are wired. We naturally absorb the energy around us. Being around negativity is like sitting next to someone who is smoking. You may not be the one lighting the cigarette, but you still breathe in the smoke. Over time, it affects your health and your energy. Your mind works the same way. The voices and moods of those around you influence the way you see yourself, your life, and your future. Controlling your environment does not mean cutting everyone out of your life immediately. It does not mean isolating yourself or avoiding challenges. Instead, it is about being selective with where you spend your time and energy. Make a conscious choice to be around people who inspire you, who believe in growth, and who focus on solutions instead of problems. Surround yourself with those who lift you higher and encourage you to become better. And if you cannot find such people nearby, seek them elsewhere. Books, podcasts, online communities, and mentors can provide the guidance and energy you need. The voices you expose yourself to every day will eventually become the voice in your own head, shaping your thoughts, habits, and beliefs. Your environment is not limited to the people around you. It also includes the media you consume. If you constantly watch negative news, scroll through social media comparing yourself to others, or read harmful and judgmental comments online, your mind will fill with fear, anger, and envy. This is mental junk food. Just as your body feels sick after eating too much unhealthy food, your mind weakens after consuming too much negativity. Protecting your mental diet is essential for building resilience and positive thinking. Choose content that uplifts, motivates, and teaches you something valuable. Limit the time you spend with anything that triggers stress, doubt, or comparison. You can also design your physical environment to support positive thinking. Keep your living space clean and organized, because a messy room creates a messy mind. Decluttering is not just about aesthetics. It is about creating space for clarity, peace, and focus. Surround yourself with inspiring objects, quotes, or images that remind you of your goals and values. Play uplifting music that motivates you instead of songs that reinforce sadness or anger. Spend time in nature, even for a few minutes each day. The sights, sounds, and calm of the natural world have a profound effect on your mental state. Remember this important principle. You are the average of the 5 voices you hear most. If you want to kill negative thinking, you must stop feeding it. Be intentional with the people you spend time with, the media you consume, and the spaces you inhabit. Build an environment that makes it easier to think positively than negatively. When your surroundings support your growth, even days when motivation is low, your environment will carry you forward. It will protect your mind, strengthen your thoughts, and reinforce the positive patterns you're creating. Controlling your environment is a powerful and often overlooked step in mental mastery. You cannot fully control the world, but you can control the inputs that reach your mind. Every choice you make about what you listen to, who you meet, and where you spend your energy is a decision about the life you are building. When you take control of your environment, negative thinking loses much of its power. Your mind becomes stronger, your thoughts clearer, and your life more aligned with your goals. In this way, the environment becomes a silent ally, helping you fight negativity even when you are not consciously thinking about it. Rule 4. Train your inner voice. Your inner voice is the most powerful influence in your life. It speaks to you more than anyone else ever will. Every thought you have, every word you say to yourself shapes your actions, your confidence, and your future. If that voice is harsh, critical, and full of doubt, it will destroy your motivation before you even take a step forward. But if your inner voice is encouraging, patient, and determined, it will lift you up, guide you through challenges, and push you to keep going no matter how hard things become. The way you talk to yourself determines whether you feel trapped by life or empowered to move forward. Training your inner voice is like training a muscle. The more you use it positively, the stronger it becomes. The first step is awareness. Notice how you speak to yourself in everyday situations, especially when things go wrong. If you spill coffee, forget an important task, or make a mistake at work, pay attention to your words. Do you say, "I'm so stupid"? Or do you say, "That was a mistake, but I'll fix it"? The language you choose matters because harsh words create shame, and shame destroys confidence and progress. Words that are kind, honest, and solution-focused, on the other hand, create learning, resilience, and growth. This does not mean you should excuse mistakes or avoid responsibility. It means you should treat yourself like a coach rather than an enemy. A good coach points out errors, but also provides encouragement, guidance, and hope. One practical method to train your inner voice is the best friend rule. Whenever you face a challenge or experience failure, imagine your best friend in your situation. What advice would you give them? How would you comfort them? How would you encourage them to take the next step? Now, apply that same advice and kindness to yourself. At first, this may feel awkward or unnatural, especially if you have spent years criticizing yourself more than anyone else ever could. But with consistent practice, your mind will gradually adopt this compassionate and supportive tone. Naturally, you will begin to notice yourself responding to difficulties with patience and encouragement rather than frustration and doubt. Visualization is another powerful technique to strengthen your inner voice. Each morning, spend a few minutes imagining yourself handling a difficult situation with calm confidence and clarity. Hear the voice in your mind saying, "You can do this. You have faced hard challenges before and overcome them. You are capable." Your brain does not fully distinguish between imagined experiences and real ones. By visualizing yourself responding successfully to challenges, you train your mind to react with confidence when real-life situations arise. Over time, this practice rewires your inner voice to naturally support courage and calmness rather than fear and panic. Think of your inner voice as a captain of a ship. Your thoughts are the crew, and the crew takes its cues from the captain. If the captain panics, the crew panics. If the captain is calm, focused, and gives clear instructions, the crew follows without hesitation. The same principle applies to your mind. When your inner voice is strong, clear, and encouraging, your thoughts align to take effective action. You handle stress better, make decisions with confidence, and persist even when obstacles appear. But if your inner voice is weak, critical, or fearful, your mind becomes scattered, anxious, and easily defeated. Training your inner voice requires patience, repetition, and consistency. Start small. Replace a single harsh thought each day with a supportive one. Use the best friend rule to respond to mistakes with encouragement. Spend a few minutes on visualization. Exercises every morning. Over time, these small actions build a strong mental habit. Your inner voice will become naturally supportive, wise, and determined. It will remind you of your abilities, highlight your progress, and push you toward growth. Remember, your inner voice is not just a reflection of your mind. It is the force that shapes your reality. A positive, strong, and encouraging voice will change the way you act, the way you think, and the way you feel about yourself. You cannot always control what happens in life, but you can control the words you say to yourself. By training your inner voice, you take command of your mind, just like a captain guiding a ship through rough seas. With a strong inner voice, you will face challenges with courage, learn from mistakes without fear, and slowly eliminate negative thinking from your life. Rule 5. Focus on what you can control. One of the biggest sources of negative thinking is trying to control things that are completely outside your power. When you waste your energy worrying about events, people, or outcomes that you cannot influence, you set yourself up for frustration, anxiety, and hopelessness. It is like trying to stop the wind with your hands. You'll only tire yourself out, and the wind will continue to blow. Yet many of us spend hours, days, or even years trying to manage what is uncontrollable. We replay past mistakes, imagine worst-case scenarios, or guess at what others might do, all while ignoring the power we already have. Think back to the last time you felt stressed or anxious. What was the cause? Was it something you could directly control, or was it something outside your power? Often we find that our stress comes from situations that are completely out of our hands. We worry about what someone said or did, replay events in the past, or imagine future problems that may never happen. These thoughts consume our energy but do not solve anything. They are mental distractions that keep us stuck, preventing us from focusing on what truly matters. The key to freeing your mind from negativity is to focus on what you can control. You cannot control the weather, but you can decide to carry an umbrella. You cannot control what others think of you, but you can choose how you act, speak, and respond. You cannot control the economy, the traffic, or other people's decisions, but you can control your own skills, habits, and mindset. This shift in focus does not eliminate challenges, but it directs your energy toward actions that actually produce results rather than spinning your mind in endless worry. One practical tool to develop this skill is a simple mental exercise. When you begin to feel anxious, take a moment to write down the situation that is troubling you. Then create 2 columns. One title can control, and the other title cannot control. Break down the problem into every detail and decide where it belongs. Be honest with yourself. After completing the list, deliberately ignore the cannot control column. Do not think about it. Instead, focus entirely on the can control side and make an action plan for the items you can influence. This practice is simple, but it changes the way your mind works. It trains your brain to separate the important from the unimportant, the productive from the unproductive. Focusing on what you can control also builds confidence and self-responsibility. When you stop feeling like a helpless victim of circumstances, you realize that your actions matter. You gain the power to take small steps forward every day. Each action you take reinforces the belief that you can handle life, that challenges are not insurmountable, and that you are capable of solving problems. This mindset gradually weakens negative thinking because your mind becomes occupied with solutions rather than imaginary fears or regrets. It is important to understand that focusing on control does not mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is fine. It means putting your attention where it will actually make a difference. Instead of wasting energy on things outside your reach, you focus on the things that yield results. For example, if you are worried about an upcoming exam, do not waste time fearing the difficulty of questions. Instead, focus on studying, effectively organizing your notes, and practicing what you can. If you are anxious about a project at work, control your preparation, planning, and effort rather than obsessing over what colleagues or clients might think. Over time, this practice becomes a habit. Your brain begins to naturally ask, can I do something about this? If the answer is yes, you act. If the answer is no, you release it from your mind. This reduces stress, increases mental clarity, and allows you to use your energy for growth instead of worry. You will notice that negative thinking loses power over you because it thrives in uncertainty, helplessness, and fear. When you focus on what you can control, your mind becomes your ally, guiding you towards solutions instead of trapping you in problems. Ultimately, focusing on control is not just a mental exercise. It is a lifestyle. It turns frustration into action, worry into planning, and fear into courage. By consistently choosing to direct your energy toward what you can influence, you train your mind to stay calm, confident, and productive. Negative thinking cannot survive in a mind that opportunities and transforms setbacks into stepping stones. Pain is universal. No one is exempt from it. Life is full of challenges, losses, and disappointments. You cannot always choose what happens, but you can always choose how you respond. Every moment you spend dwelling on suffering without action is a moment that strengthens negative thinking. But when you decide to turn pain into fuel, you redirect that energy into action, learning, and personal growth. It no longer pulls you down. It pushes you forward. Pain becomes a tool, a teacher, and a motivator rather than an enemy. Another important aspect of using pain as fuel is patience. Transformation does not happen instantly. It takes time to process emotions, understand lessons, and convert them into strength. Do not rush yourself or feel weak for experiencing difficulty. Strength comes not from avoiding pain, but from using it consciously. The more you practice turning pain into fuel, the more resilient your mind becomes. Negative thinking loses one of its most powerful weapons against you, the ability to trap you in despair. Ultimately, the goal is to see every painful experience as a choice point. You cannot control every event in life, but you can control your response. Every time you decide to use pain as fuel, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than circumstances, smarter than setbacks, and braver than fear. Over time, this habit rewires your brain. Pain no longer scares you. It teaches you, motivates you, and reminds you of your potential. By mastering this skill, negative thinking no longer has the power to dominate your mind because you have learned to transform one of its strongest triggers into your greatest ally. Rule 7. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for killing negative thinking because it shifts your focus from what is missing to what is already present. When you feel grateful, you cannot feel hopeless at the same time. Gratitude changes your perspective, and perspective changes everything. Many people underestimate this simple practice, thinking that it is only for special occasions like holidays, birthdays, or after big achievements. But the real power of gratitude comes when you practice it daily, even on ordinary days, and especially on the hard ones. When life is difficult, practicing gratitude is not a luxury. It is essential. Start small. Each morning, take a moment to write down 3 things you are grateful for. They do not have to be big or extraordinary. Maybe it is a roof over your head, the food you eat, the sunlight that warms your face, or a friend who makes you laugh. The simple act of noticing these things begins to train your mind to focus on the positive instead of the negative. If writing feels like too much, simply take 1 minute to think about these things before starting your day. Even pausing for a short moment of appreciation can shift your mindset, setting the tone for the hours ahead. Gratitude can also be practiced in the moment. When something good happens, no matter how small, stop and acknowledge it. Say to yourself, I am thankful for this. Maybe someone smiled at you, a task went smoothly, or you had a moment of peace. Pausing to appreciate it reinforces a habit of noticing the positive. Over time, these small recognitions accumulate and your mind begins to naturally focus on what is going well instead of what is going wrong. Gratitude becomes a shield against negative thinking because your mind has less room to dwell on fear, doubt, or worry. Scientific studies support this practice. People who regularly practice gratitude report lower stress levels, better sleep, and stronger relationships. Their minds are more resilient, and they tend to notice the good in life rather than constantly searching for problems. The brain adapts to what it observes most frequently. When you train it to find things to appreciate every day, your perspective shifts naturally. You begin to see opportunities, kindness, and blessings where before you might have only seen obstacles, setbacks, or frustrations. This mental shift reduces the power of negative thoughts, allowing you to think more clearly and act more confidently. For those who want to deepen this habit, try gratitude challenges. One example is to write a thank you message to someone every day for a week. It can be a friend, family member, or even a colleague who helped you in some way. Another exercise is to review your day each night and think of one challenge you faced and at least one good thing it taught you. This trains your mind to find the silver lining in every situation. By practicing daily, your brain learns that even difficulties contain lessons, and this habit strengthens resilience and optimism. Gratitude is not about ignoring reality or pretending that problems do not exist. Life will always have challenges, failures, and pain. Practicing gratitude is about choosing which part of reality you focus on. You have the power to direct your attention, and where you place it shapes your feelings, actions, and thoughts. When you focus on what is good, you feed your mind hope, strength, and energy. When your mind is full of hope, negative thinking has nowhere to live. It loses its power because your attention is no longer available for fear, worry, or self-doubt. Daily gratitude transforms your inner world gradually but profoundly. It turns ordinary moments into opportunity for reflection, joy, and awareness. It rewires the mind to automatically notice blessings, kindness, and positive experiences, which reduces the mental space for negative thoughts to grow. Over time, this practice creates a mindset that is naturally optimistic, calm, and resilient. Even when life throws challenges at you, your mind has a foundation of gratitude to draw strength from, allowing you to respond with clarity, patience, and courage rather than despair or frustration. Remember, practicing gratitude is simple, but its effects are powerful. Every day, find moments to notice what is good. Write it down, acknowledge it, and reflect on it. As you do this consistently, negative thinking becomes weaker because your mind is occupied with appreciation, hope, and positivity. Gratitude is not just a habit. It is a mindset that protects your mental space and empowers your actions. By making gratitude a daily practice, you are creating an inner environment where negative thinking has no place to grow, and your life becomes brighter, calmer, and more fulfilling. Rule 8. Live in the present. Negative thinking often grows when we live too much in the past or too much in the future. When we focus on the past, we replay mistakes, dwell on regrets, or wish things had been different. When we focus on the future, we imagine worst-case scenarios, worry about what might happen, and fear what we cannot control. In both cases, the mind is trapped in a story rather than reality. The truth is the only time we can truly act, feel, and create change is the present moment. The past is gone, and the future is not. Yet here, this moment, right now, is all we have. Learning to live fully in the present is one of the most powerful ways to stop negative thinking. Think of your mind as a room. If it is cluttered with old regrets, there is no space for new possibilities. If it is crowded with fears about the future, there is no room for current opportunities. The present is like fresh air entering that room. It clears away mental clutter, opens your mind, and gives you the energy to act. Living in the present does not mean ignoring your past or your future entirely. It means giving your attention to what is happening now, because this is the only time when action, growth, and change can actually occur. Living in the present requires focus and awareness. If you are eating, taste your food. Notice its texture, its flavor, the act of chewing. Do not think about tomorrow's meeting or yesterday's. Mistake. If you are talking to a friend, listen fully. Pay attention to their words, their expressions, and their emotions. Avoid replaying old arguments or thinking about what will happen next. Mindfulness is about experiencing each moment fully without distraction, judgment, or unnecessary worry. It trains the mind to stay grounded, calm, and clear. One powerful tool to practice living in the present is mindful breathing. Whenever you notice your mind racing with negative thoughts, pause and take 3 slow, deep breaths. Feel the air enter your body and leave your body. Notice the rise and fall of your chest, the sensation of your lungs filling and emptying. This simple act brings you back to the current moment and interrupts cycles of worry and regret. Even a few seconds of focused breathing can reset your mind, calm your emotions, and give you clarity to act with intention rather than reacting from fear or frustration. Another effective technique is to create present moment reminders throughout your day. Choose small triggers that happen regularly. A phone notification, walking through a doorway, hearing a certain sound, and use each as a cue to say to yourself, "Be here now." These little reminders gradually train your brain to come back to the moment, even when it is tempted to wander into past regrets or future anxieties. Over time, your mind begins to naturally settle into the present, and negative thinking loses its grip because it thrives in distraction and uncertainty. Living in the present also means accepting what is happening right now without resistance. Challenges, discomfort, and unexpected events are part of life. When you resist reality, you create mental tension, frustration, and unnecessary negativity. But when you accept a moment as it is, even if it is not perfect, you free your mind to focus on what you can do next. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It means clarity. It allows you to respond wisely, take meaningful action, and find solutions instead of becoming trapped in complaining, blaming, or worrying. The truth is life is always happening now. The past is a memory, and the future is an idea you cannot live in either. The more you practice staying present, the more peace, clarity, and strength you will find. Negative thinking loses power because your attention is fully occupied by reality. The only place where life can be lived and progress can be made. Each time you return your mind to present, you strengthen your focus, calm your emotions, and build resilience against fear, doubt, and worry. By learning to live in the present, you create a foundation for every other rule. Your mind becomes alert, clear, and strong. You notice negative thoughts early. Replace them with helpful ones. Focus on what you can control. Turn challenges into fuel and find gratitude in each moment. Living in the present is not a skill you master once. It is a daily practice. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Negative thinking cannot survive in a mind fully engaged in the now, and your life begins to feel lighter, more purposeful, and more joyful with each passing day. Conclusion: your mind, your weapon. Negative thinking is not something that disappears overnight. It is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken and replaced with something better. The mind is powerful, and its habits shape your reality. These 8 rules are not just tips. They are tools, carefully designed to help you take control of your thoughts, your emotions, and your life. Using them consistently will slowly but surely rebuild your mind into something stronger, calmer, and more focused. The journey will not always be easy. You will face moments when old patterns of negativity try to creep back in. That is normal. What matters is that you keep practicing, keep applying these rules, and keep choosing thoughts that serve you rather than hurt you. Remember the rules. Recognize the enemy. Notice the negative thoughts as soon as they appear, and do not let them take root. Replace the poison. Do not simply remove harmful thoughts. Replace them with positive, realistic, and helpful alternatives. Control your environment. Surround yourself with people, media, and surroundings that lift you rather than drag you down. Train your inner voice. Speak to yourself like a coach, not a critic. Focus on what you can control. Put your energy into actions that matter, and let go of what is beyond your reach. Turn pain into fuel. Transform challenges, failures, and setbacks into energy that drives you forward. Practice gratitude daily. Notice the good in your life and make appreciation a habit. Live in the present. Stop dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, and give your full attention to this moment, the only time when life can truly be lived. Your mind can be your greatest enemy or your most powerful ally. The choice is yours. Every time you choose a positive, helpful thought over a negative one, you take back control. Every time you act on these rules, you make it harder for negativity to survive in your mind. Life will always have challenges, unexpected events, and difficulties that test your patience and strength. You cannot control every event, but you can control how you respond. You can control how you think, how you feel, and how you act. When you master your thinking, you master your life. Kill negative thinking, and you will unlock the true power of your mind. You will discover strength where you thought you were weak, clarity where there was confusion, and hope where there was despair. By applying these 8 rules, you create a mind that is resilient, focused, and unstoppable. The future is not written yet. It is waiting for you to shape it. And when your mind becomes your ally instead of your enemy, you will realize that there is nothing you cannot achieve. The power to transform your life is in your hands. Don't change any, just remove the number. So thank you for watching my video. If you have any questions, so ask for me in comment box, like and share my video. And if you're new on my channel, so subscribe my channel for more motivational videos.